Hello, everyone. As you know, today will be Pearl Harbor Day. But I feel like, and many others do, Americans take for granted exactly what Pearl Harbor Day is. So let's run through the history of this very day and our involvement into one of the biggest wars in history. Pearl Harbor is a United States naval base in Hawaii. In 1941, Pearl Harbor suffered a surprise attack from the Japanese Empire on December 7th. At around 8 a.m. That morning, Japanese forces launched an air raid on Pearl Harbor, managing to destroy and damage almost 20 American military ships and over 300 aircrafts. Over 2,000 Americans died in the attack, and afterwards, Franklin Delano Roosevelt requested Congress to declare war on Japan. Pearl Harbor was a surprise attack. However, the Japanese soldiers in the United States have been close to war for years, considering that they had initiated the Second Sino-Japanese War in 1937. The United States had felt very threatened by Japan for the next 4 years. Japan believed that expanding their territory into neighboring countries would solve this economic and demographic problems. Several battleships had been sunk in the attack. Japan had a very basic and easy plan to go with this: destroy the American Pacific Fleet. After destroying this fleet, the Americans would not be able to oppose Japan across the South Pacific. At about 10 a.m., Japanese planes blanketed the sky, fired down bombs and bullets into the vessels below. At 8:10, an 1,800-pound bomb crushed through the deck of the USS Arizona and landed in the forward ammunition magazine, causing the ship to explode and sink with over 1,000 men inside. Torpedoes were launched at the USS Oklahoma, rolling the ship on its side and sinking 400 sailors. After the attack, several battleships have been damaged. The USS Arizona and the USS Utah were salvaged and repaired. However, the USS Oklahoma, California, West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Nevada were not recovered. The overall damage of Pearl Harbor was significant, with nearly 20 American ships and over 300 aircrafts had been damaged or destroyed, along with the docks and airfields. Over 2,000 people had died within 75 minutes. Japan had failed their mission of destroying the Pacific Fleet, as they only destroyed the battleships, which were no longer most important ships needed. The aircraft carriers had survived, along with vital onshore facilities intact, which allowed quick recovery. The attack had killed 2,403 United States personnel, along with wounding 1,780 others. Half of the casualties were on the USS Arizona, and the ship was salvaged into a memorial hall to remember all who died in the attack. After the attack, President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed a session with Congress on December 8th. He addressed the attack as a date which we will live in infamy, and after he had requested the declaration of war on Japan, Congress approved it on that very same day. After several years of debate, the American people were united in the decision to go to war. Japan had wanted the United States to lift the economic sanctions against them. However, they brought their adversary into World War II, resulting in their downfall in 1945, leading to the downfall of the Empire of Japan in 1947 and occupation until 1952.